What's going on, everybody? I'm Brams, and this Yoshi clip tutorial is long overdue, but better late than never. So before I get started, a couple things I want to say. First thing is that Dots made a very good video a couple of years ago explaining how Yoshi clips work and talking specifically about subpixels. I'm not here to rehash that, so I'll just link that in the description. I definitely recommend giving it a watch, as it explains pretty much everything you needed to know about subpixels, and really subpixels specifically with Yoshi clips. So second thing here is, if you're on the practice ROM, go into the start menu and go to the edit status bar section and make sure that Yoshi's subpixel is visible. And specifically, you only need the Y subpixel, so you can hold Y and then tap R so it says Y only. Now, the values that they say are going to mean nothing to you unless you watch Dots' video, so again, I definitely recommend watching that. So the next thing I'll say is I'm explaining both VD2 and FY2, but the subpixel manipulation is the same. So let me explain that really quick, and then if you want to skip the VD2 stuff, I'll leave a timestamp in the description and you can check out FY2 stuff instead. So basically, the subpixel manipulation, what you need to do is, before you go for the clip, dismount into the ceiling like that. And what that does basically is change a property such that Yoshi falls at a different rate. If you don't do that, Yoshi's subpixel will change by a different value the first time you dismount him, which is not what we want. So make sure you dismount into the ceiling, both in this level and in FY2. And when I go to FY2 later, you'll see me do that. So that's the main subpixel manipulation. And then basically the strats from that point on are, if you miss and Yoshi falls down and you mount him in the water but not in the wall, drop Yoshi again and remount him and then go for the clip again. So let me just demonstrate that here. And again, this works for both VD2 and FY2. So I remounted Yoshi not in the wall, so now I'm going to swim up and go again. But now my subpixel is bad, so I'm going to get kicked out here. So basically, the way to change that, I guess I'll reset my value here, is if I dismount and miss, I gotta dismount and miss again. So now my subpixel is back to 0. And then when I do another dismount, it'll be at 80, which is a good value. And hopefully I make it through here. I didn't, but whatever. I had the good subpixel, that's all that matters. So there isn't, unfortunately, a subpixel where there's a 100% chance of making it through. Best case scenario is a 75% chance, and that there's a table in Dots' video that shows the percentage chances for all the subpixels. But anyway, let me go over the specific setup for VD2 here. It all starts at the beginning. Make sure that you don't get hit by this buzzy beetle, that will ruin everything. So I recommend just eating him like that, or you can jump over him, basically do whatever you want. So right here, do the subpixel manipulation. And then line up on this wall. You don't strictly have to do this, but it makes it a lot easier to actually set up for the clip later. So set up on this wall, and then eat the fish on the way up. If you don't eat the fish, he'll actually get in your way sometimes. So I recommend just eating him. It doesn't cost any time to do so anyway. So then the timing for the dismount here is approximately when the cape passes the ceiling there. I paused maybe a little early. It's hard to tell exactly when this cue is, but that's a good starting point for a visual cue, and then from there you can either develop your own visual cue or just get a feel for it. So another thing that's worth mentioning is that you want to be neutral on the D-pad when you do this, because if you hold up, Mario will hit the ceiling sooner, and then that's bad. So if you do everything right, you'll end up in the wall here, and Yoshi's kind of shaking back and forth. So for VD2 specifically, if you go out of bounds in this level, there is no water. Out of bounds has air physics. So what you need to do here is hold down and right, and then when you're ready to clip through, all you have to really do is tap A, but since there's air out of bounds, I recommend just holding X and A like this. I got kicked out again, of course, why wouldn't I? But if you do that, Mario will float all the way to the right instead of just falling into the pit and dying. And The reason that you need cape for this clip, by the way, is that there are air physics, and if you don't have cape, you can't float all the way over to the other side and swim up through the other water. So let me actually try to get through here. So there, that means, by the way, I did this on purpose. I totally didn't just mess up. If you drop Yoshi too late there, he'll fall down and Mario will end up here and Yoshi is dead. And if you drop him too early, well, maybe not that early. If you drop him too early, like this is when you have to do the drop and then try again. And then that was another too late. So I drop, and then try again. And that was too early, so I drop. I try again. So, go through. Alright, boo. So if you get kicked out like that, the best way to proceed is just by trying again. And now I've made it through, and you see that I hold X and A the whole time. And then I made it to this water over here. So that's VD2. Pretty simple. So FY2 is, like I said, the same, but a little different. The main difference is that when you go out of bounds in this level, the water physics persist, so you don't have to do any weird floating. So there's the subpixel manipulation. And my visual cue here is roughly when Yoshi's eyes pass this ceiling. I guess Mario's cape is also in line with that ceiling there. Again, just practice it and come up with your own cue or just get a feel for it. But that's what I use. And also it's worth mentioning that you can do the subpixel stuff at any point. I usually do it here, but you can do it at any point in the level. So I got kicked out there. But you'll notice that when I was up here in the corner, I dismounted early, like this. And if you look at the subpixel when I do that, most of the time it changes. So you do have to be careful. If you do that too many times, you're going to be guaranteed to get kicked out. But you can do it once or twice and be fine. So E0, this gives me a 75% chance of making it through. And I got kicked out because it's a tutorial, and why would anything go right? There we go. So since I got kicked out, I just tried again. And then all you have to do here is just tap A when you're holding down left. And you'll make it through. And then you ditch Yoshi. So I think that's pretty much everything there is to say about Yoshi Clip that hasn't already been said in other videos. So I guess if you're having more troubles with this, leave a comment or something and I'll try to help you out. Although sometimes it can be hard to do that without seeing what you're doing. But other ways you can get help are joining the SMW Discord, or you can also tweet stuff at me too. I check Twitter all the time. So I hope this helped, and good luck. You'll need it.